starts now.
Peeling back the layers of a prison sentence. That's what we're doing tonight. It's part of a series that I've been sharing every week. I've been digging into stories of women serving prison sentences for what they say was a life and death decision.
Just hours ago, we found out more specifics about a new bill that would allow the court more discretion in sentencing. Oklahoma's Domestic Abuse Survivorship Act, or House Bill 1639, is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. There's certain qualifications that have to be met to even be considered a candidate for sentencing relief.
And Mark, there could be major implications for domestic abuse survivors currently in prison, as this bill includes a retroactive component. I've learned many of these cases are complex, like the one we're about to show you, but tonight, these women have new hope.
An incarcerated individual at Naval Bassett Correctional Center may start the conversation now.
Angel was my hardest pregnancy, actually, because I was high-risk pregnancy.
And for many reasons, Keabreauna Boyd says it was not only a high-risk pregnancy, she was in a high-risk relationship.
The reason why I was making things somewhat work is because I was pregnant with Angel.
Boyd is serving a life sentence at Mabel Bassett Correctional Center for killing her youngest child's father, Lewis Williams, outside of her Norman home in July of 2020.
Significant trauma.
You were afraid for your life?
If I had no doubt in my mind that that man was going to kill me and my baby.
She tells me it started with a fight over money.
So then we started fighting over the keys. But then I got mad, Miss Rose, and I took a knife and I stabbed the tire like nobody is leaving in. He came charging at me with a knife, and I turned around, Miss Rose, and I just was panicking, trying to get him off of me. He was trying to stab me in my belly, and they hit him one time in the neck and it killed me. A nick on my belly, and also I was in labor pain.
Prosecutors charged Boyd with first-degree murder, and a judge convicted her of second-degree murder. It's a crime Boyd says she felt she had to commit following what she describes as years of abuse. Were you afraid for your life?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Always.
But prosecutors say that's not the whole story. I want to give you a chance to respond to that.
That's just not supported by any of the evidence in the case. It's not supported by her statements that she made to law enforcement. It's not supported by the 911 phone call. It's not supported in the statements that her children made, who were there that night. It's not supported in the photos. It's not supported in the manner in which the body was found. It's not supported in the numerous inconsistent statements that she made to police. It's not supported in any of the evidence at all.
Evidence I requested. The Cleveland County DA's office did share photos of both of their injuries. Because of the gruesome nature, they asked them not to be aired. They also shared statements from the Norman officers who said there were inconsistencies in Boyd's story. But there's also a lot they didn't send.
Because it speaks to this issue in our criminal justice system of, are we putting the right people in prison?
Leslie Briggs isn't Boyd's attorney, but has reviewed her case.
She'd just been through one of the most traumatic events a person can go through, the taking of a human life. And she was entering premature labor shortly thereafter. And sandwiched between those two events, she was expected to provide a full, complete, accurate, and consistent account of what she went through when she was defending herself and her unborn baby.
Statistics show Oklahoma has one of the highest rates in the nation of intimate partner violence. When you receive a case like this, what are the types of things that you look at when it comes to determining, the avenue going forward?
Because obviously as a prosecutor, someone who's prosecuted many cases of domestic violence, I know that it's not just whenever someone calls law enforcement. We know that oftentimes victims don't always call law enforcement. So sure, those things are helpful. We're looking to those things, but we're looking to other things that might corroborate was there domestic violence that was going on, prior to that night.
Prosecutor Jacoby Watley says she looked for calls between the pair.
There was not.
Yeah, every time I called the police, Miss Rose, he would always say he's sorry and talk me into getting them to leave and talking the police into it. So it never was, no complaint never went through.
Boyd told police Williams abused her. In fact, she told me he kicked the door down of her apartment in 2018. I went looking for more information and did find a domestic call that same year, but it's not clear if she's the one who made that call for help. The report says she smelled like alcohol and had outstanding warrants, so they arrested her. It never says if they investigated the original call for help about a domestic disturbance.
Her children who were in the home, her children who were there that night, can they corroborate domestic violence within this relationship? Can they tell us what was going on in this relationship? And they were not able to corroborate any of her claims about this being a domestic violence relationship prior to that night.
I think that we have to get to a place where we reject the idea that a person must be perfect in order to receive justice. That justice can be messy, that people are messy, and that if we can change our system to appreciate that nuance, to offer proportionality to the crime, right? Mitigate the sentence, not avoid culpability, not take away guilt.
Boyd says she can't change what happened to her, but maybe she can change what happens to someone else.
Do you have a message for other women who are enduring domestic abuse? Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Yes, Ms. Rose, I would just tell them to leave before it's too late.
This call is being terminated by the facility.
No, we are not done following Keabreauna's story, and we'll continue to push to hear that 911 call and to see body camera footage for that night. You'll find the full copy of the Oklahoma Domestic Abuse Survivorship Act on our website, which is ktol.com.